crystal clear lakes, snow-covered mountains, alpine flowers, and vast stretches of green grass are added attractions.
Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning to you all. I hope you guys are doing very well today and you're ready to start your day with me, Maha and Shahzad Khan. And I feel like I keep the need to keep talking because this is what Shahzad does, and then I'm going to let him wait to say hello to me. No, I'm kidding. Hello, Shahzad. Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Wa alaikum assalam. I'm absolutely perfect. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. Time to rise and shine, wake and bake, get up, and, you know, probably exhale all of that laziness which you had just because of the fact that you were sleeping. Inhale all the fresh energy which is out there, which is surrounding you right now. And we are ready to kickstart your day and our day as well. And today, ladies
our day kickstarted quite a while ago. Yeah. I've been awake for a few hours now.
Well, same here, I think, Ma. Come on, don't do that to me today.
There's no competition.
So, ladies and gentlemen, it's Wednesday. Today we do have a public service message, which is a good one. But before we do that, today, ladies and gentlemen, we are doing a program on something which is very essential in life, in today's day and age, and we see it everywhere else.
Absolutely. So are we going to introduce the topic?
No, we're not going to introduce the topic, but I'm just going to tell them a bit. I'm going to give them a bit of information so that they can feel anticipated. We can do the news and then we can come back to that.
Okay.
So the type of topic we have picked up on revolves around everyone, and each and every individual is actually trying to do that in their day-to-day life as well. Each and every other brand which is out there, they're trying to do that. They're trying to convince us to be loyal as well. So this is the gist of it. And how do they do it? What are the tricks behind it? What are the psychological facts? Well, psychological facts will be shared by Miss Maha Makhdoom over here because she's got quite a grip. And since marketing was my majors, I think I'll probably make sure that our guests are in a bit of trouble. That's what it is. But let's get started with the top stories for this hour. Maha, go ahead.
Yes, so today, President Mamnoon Hussain has said that Pakistan is emerging as a premier trade, energy and transport corridor. And this is the news also that the Prime Minister had also highlighted earlier in the week and at the end of last week. So that's great.
Exactly.
Okay, so moving on to the next headlines. Interior Minister Chaudhry Nisar says government will take strict action against elements involved in posting blasphemous contents on social media. Now, you know, I think people really need to look at what is considered as blasphemous content, who are they taking down, what are the things that are being said. So I think everyone needs to be aware of what's actions going on because certain actions will affect our future day-to-day life. So this is something that everyone should be paying attention to.
Exactly, and it's not that difficult to really pay attention to what you're saying is blasphemous or not, and it is very easy. Probably
I mean, everyone has different opinions, that's the thing. So that's why you need to be very clear on what is blasphemous and not throw that word around.
Exactly, that's what it is. But ladies and gentlemen, it is getting very hot over here in the studio, so we would request our producers to turn on the air conditioners as we don't want to sweat. And with that, obviously, yeah, and with that, I'll move on towards the weather update as well.
Yes.
Heavy rain with thunderstorm and gusty winds occur in upper parts of country as Met Office predicts more rain in upper Punjab, upper KP and Kashmir till tomorrow.
Okay, so for once in my life, I've actually been happy that it rained like that yesterday. Because, you know, yesterday, like for me, as Shahzad is very happy, you know, you feel very joyous when it rains. I feel very miserable because it reminds me of England because it rains so much. But yesterday, I enjoyed the rain because I was like, this rain suits my mood. I feel miserable right now. So it's fine. I'm really kidding.
I mean, for all those people who might be depressed, I think they take advantage of rain because they say that you cannot see tears when it's raining and you're walking in the rain as well. But it's all right, please. We are here to spread smiles and laughter as well.
Yes.
But with that, ladies and gentlemen, we do have a public service message, and the public service message I have today has to do quite a lot with looking good.
Oh,
Okay, I'm sorry, it is a very uncommon message, and
What's he saying?
yeah, what happens, ladies and gentlemen,
He's changed
is
that decision. No, I'm
yeah,
kidding.
ladies and gentlemen, what happens is that, you know, when you know that you look good or you look great, or, you know, whatever dress you're wearing makes you feel great, I think it improves your energy to do work as well. It improves your vibes, it improves the positivity within your own self, and then it brings it out as well. So
Yes.
whenever you're presenting in a very good way, you'll just love it, and you'll be in love with your own self. So please make sure whenever you get up, or, you know, you're doing your hair, do them properly. Dedicate a bit of time to getting ready and grooming yourself, because it will change your life.
Absolutely, and that's a great message. You know, it's always nice to be ready, and my dad always taught us that as well. Always have your hair, nails, and shoes neat.
That is very essential.
Now, Shazad mentioned before, we're going to be talking about something that's in our day-to-day lives. It's something that we cannot escape from. It is everywhere. And you want to?
Yeah, I wanted to say something about it. So, ladies and gentlemen, the topic we have picked up on, we actually saw it on a newspaper for the very first time back in 1702, March 11th, and it was in London when, you know, there was a lady who actually published a newspaper with the name of Daily Courant. I think that's what the name was. And it was a one-page leaf, and there was news. For example, it was from Europe at that particular time, and then at the back of it, there were adverts. So adverts obviously relate to marketing as well. So marketing, if we go back in time, it's not just 1702, it's word of mouth as well. For example, somebody went to a retailer or a wholesaler back in the 16th century and came back and said that, you know, the spices that retailer or the wholesaler is selling were great. So obviously, if I was alive then, I would go to the same guy. So that was word of mouth, I think, was the first ever marketing tool. Then moving on, there were newspapers, then there was radio, then there was television, now there's social media.
Billboards.
And billboards and whatnot. So now there are BTLs, ATLs. There's quite a lot which actually marketing revolves around. But other than that, what I want to tell people is marketing is not just adverts. Marketing has to do with each and every department of the, you know, institution. For example, if you're in production, it has to do with production, your product quality, your retail, then your, I mean, the list goes on.
It goes on, and also there's also, I mean, even after our conversation last week, there are also certain people who also now are trying to negate the power of marketing. And so that's why Shazad said in the beginning, we're going to be talking about the psychological aspect. What does it happen to have things repeatedly blasted on your screen? How does it affect us, like the conditioning, the psychological aspect? So let's get the conversation started, because I think it's going to be very fascinating and very good one. So we've been very lucky. We've been joined by Dr. Zeenat Jabbar. She is the Assistant Professor of ComStats. Assalamu alaikum, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Pleasure.
Besides Dr. Zeenat Jabbar, we've been joined by Mr. Farrukh Mushtaq. He is a marketing expert. Assalamu alaikum, good morning.
Walaikum assalam.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Besides Mr. Farrukh Mushtaq, we've been joined by Mr. Wahid Sharif. He is the CEO of Institute of Business Leadership, also brackets IBL. Assalamu alaikum, good morning. Thank you so much for joining
And
us.
since all of you are marketing experts as well,
Yes.
so before we say that, you know, we're going to ask you what marketing is, but I want different answers from each and every individual as well, all right? Because that's what...
If it's possible.
Yeah, it is possible. It is very much possible. So let's start with you, ma'am.
Okay, what marketing is to me
Yeah.
is understanding your target market, because if you understand them, you know what to deliver, how to deliver, and where to deliver.
Exactly. Very
Okay,
nice.
excellent.
And to me, the good marketer's job is to create, is to communicate, and to deliver a value to a target audience, and that to at a profitability.
I hope he's left with the choice now.
Well, sir,
Yeah, because you did such a...
my point of view is that marketing is not just selling. It is long-term relationship building with the family, with the person who want to join this family.
Excellent. So that kind of sums it all up. I'm great. We've got that question out of the way. But now, like, because we're not going to start from the layman's, because we've done that so many times.
Yeah.
But we're in an era where marketing, like Shazad said, it's evolved from one-page newspaper to radio to TV. Now we have social media, billboards, etc. Where are we with the state of marketing these days? I'll start with you, Professor.
Okay, if you're talking about Pakistan.
Yes, let's talk about it in the context of Pakistan
Okay.
first.
First, I would add on to what you guys have been saying about marketing, that it's evolved. In fact, it's the only subject in business studies which quickly evolves. You know,
Okay.
it's not a pond; it's a stream.
Okay.
And you have to go with the flow, kind of a thing. And I'm sure my colleagues here would also agree with me when I say that in Pakistan, that's the most undermined subject.
Yes, absolutely. I
Yeah,
agree.
right. So people whether you take it from academics, right down to the job that you want to take or the future that you would want to build, at academics level, normally it is advised by parents only if you're bad at studies.
But
Take
why
marketing.
is that?
I guess it's a preconceived notion from generations.
Okay.
Generation above than mine. You know, the day we have our first business school in Pakistan, because it has a lot of shashkas in the subject, so people thought only shashkas, you know.
What do you mean by shashkas?
Shashkas,
Shashkas means bling bling.
bling, it's a blingy subject in business studies.
Okay,
yeah.
right.
And I use shashkas because it's the
absolutely.
layman's term, you know.
No, that's fine, yeah.
So there are only two kind of people who were used to go into marketing: those who cannot perform otherwise in other studies, or those who are too lazy to do anything else. Then I'm sorry. And then we had this thing: anybody can do marketing, because you know it only. Whether you're creative or not, anybody can do. So these people who are non-marketers at academic levels would get jobs of marketing.
Okay, but that's the thing. Now, this is one thing that I think that's a big misconception, because with marketing, you have to be extremely creative. Because,
Absolutely.
like you said, it's a stream, it's not
Yeah.
a pond. It's
Yeah.
not
I mean, over here at this point of conversation, there's one more.
Shazadis need to defend himself.
No, I'm not defending, but there's one more thing which I want to say. Now, for all those people, you know, we very correctly mentioned about misconception as well. But as a matter of fact, for all those people who weren't really good with their academic record, I think what they did was that they did marketing because of the fact that it was easy. That's what they thought.
Yeah.
But for somebody who wasn't really creative, couldn't really make it into the market which relates to marketing. It was somebody else who knew how to sell things, who knew what people need, because it's all about needs, wants, and demands, and that's what we talk about most of the time. That's what it is, or do you think that you're going to go with the misconception?
Still, I will talk about from the business point of view,
Yeah.
of course, and because most of the marketeers, they end up doing some businesses. So, and latest in Pakistan, especially in small businesses and medium-sized businesses, what people have been mistakenly accepted it, that marketing is expensive, marketing is complex, that our marketing doesn't work. But this is altogether misconceptions, and it is not expensive. Yes, but bad marketing is an expense. Good marketing is always a good investment, and it gives a very powerful investment on your returns.
Amazing that is, and I think that's how we need to move on the conversation as well, because we are talking about businesses, we are talking about people who really do not pay attention towards marketing.
Well said.
Right. Now, what do you have to say to all of those people who really haven't figured out? They might have a running business right now.
Right, sir.
They might save quite a lot of money.
Well said.
And they really do not understand that they can increase their chunk of profit by investing a bit of their profit into the marketing and finding the right target market.
Well said. They should understand the complete cycle of marketing. There would be firstly awareness, then that awareness would be converted into interest, and that interest would be developed into desire. And after that desire, there would be step of action. Definitely, this is the best investment, as Mr. Farrukh mentioned, that long-term returns are only possible if we are having branding. And in Pakistan scenario, I think so there is a business landscape is going to be changed, because our manufacturing sector would be weakened, and our trading sector would be improved due to this economic corridor as well. This would be the best time if organization invest their money in this business segment, because this is the value creation. Marketing is not wastage of time and wastage of money. This is the main value creation activity. If we analyze value chain analysis, this is one of the core activity. That's why if a business focus on this one, then it would be possible to get the true results. If we go into master budget, in master budget, you know, there is the prime budget is the sales budget and marketing budget, because this would be the leading whole organization activities. That's why this is the main core activity. On this activity, business should be focusing. Yes, please.
Wonderful.
Yes,
and that's, you made a very valid point. Now, for people who studied business, because I did business studies for my A-levels, and so I know a little bit of marketing. Now, you know the importance of it, you know the importance of it. And, you know, the thing is, like you said, in order for brands to survive, you have to create that loyalty, you have to create that awareness, and that comes from marketing. Why, after all these years, from, you know, the 17th century till now, why is marketing still so undermined and undervalued, though? Why are we still so ignorant of the science behind it, the psychology behind it still.
Or the words to put it is that, you know, why do you think we always
deny
have to
it.
we always have to go and fight with our CEOs that, okay, we need this marketing budget, and they give you a shut up call.
Okay, well, the fact of the matter is, don't forget where we all are coming from, you know, from business studies or non-business studies, and you still end up doing business, right?
Yeah.
So, but you need to understand the importance of, till now in academics, the only thing important about target market is demographics and geographics in Pakistan. Whereas, I mean, the most important thing nowadays is psychographics and behavioristics. If you do not know what your target audience is thinking and how they are using the products, how would you market?
Yeah.
Right? So, you know, the idea of taking a sample not from the whole country, but just one city would do for you is a new concept. You know? So the more you condition, and I just hope that things would change now.
Yeah.
Okay. So where are we in in Pakistan? Where are we as in marketing? Are we not paying attention to it?
No. As far as our consumers, oh, they are brilliant.
Yeah.
And like we have the most difficult consumers on planet Earth.
Yeah.
Because we don't get easily convinced.
Okay.
If the marketer understands what the consumer wants, then it shouldn't be a problem. There are very, very good marketers in this country who are doing a brilliant job. We are not saying we are devoid of it.
Okay,
Okay.
The point you're making over here, I mean, I do agree to it, but to a slighter extent as well.
Yeah.
Because when we were studying marketing and we were studying business, they always used to say that you forecast depending on what was your previous experience, right? So whenever we talk about geographic locations as well, or, you know, for example, we are here to locate the target market or what happens or what not, but if there are no changes within the product, why do you think that we need to go up or probably step up with our research?
Mind share.
All right.
We need to generate mind share. We need to be visible. You know, now you see it, now you don't. Aankh ojal, pahad ojal, right? These are so apt idioms that we cannot just let them go and apply them here. And mind share is something that would keep the consumers busy with the brands. So they need
And
to
that's
know.
what we want.
Yeah, nowadays there's a lot of information being bombardment on the consumers, and it's very difficult for them to decide. So the good companies or the businesses which educate the customers or the consumers end up getting more revenues to their.
Right, but
Okay.
there's one more thing which I want to ask, and that is they say that mostly all of the marketing organizations or firms, they truly rely on the middle class segment of the society as well. Is it correct or is it not? Or do you get the massive chunk from the middle class segment as well?
It depends on particularly product.
All right.
Which type of
For
product.
example,
we are
lawn
selling.
suits these days.
Well, that's you may say that is more branding is done in big cities because there are paying capacity of customer is available, and their awareness tools are also available over there. But I think so, as Dr. Zeenat mentioned, that there would be research as well, and we shall use business intelligence softwares as well.
All right.
Business
Do
intelligence
we have
software.
such softwares over here in Pakistan?
We do.
Yes.
We do have.
We do.
Okay,
Oh,
yes,
he
Farrukh.
was taking a minute to think
Yeah,
about
Farrukh,
it.
yes.
Yeah.
All right.
I'd like to add a very important point here.
Sure.
Recently, technology has changed the face of marketing.
Yeah.
And it's a very challenging job for the marketers nowadays to develop or a strategic plan or a good marketing campaign, which initially focus on the strategy, combines with the tactics and the techniques they need to know. They need to know what's happening on the social media. They need to know
Yeah,
happening
that
on
was
the
one- yeah.
conversations. And then they develop a simple plan, and even a simple plan consistently done creates a value.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, this is the thing. I wanted to move on to the social aspect of it. I think Shazad has something to say.
Yeah,
before we
I think we'll do it later on after the break as well.
Yes.
We have to go for a short break. But over here, there's one more point which I would love to make. And that too, ladies and gentlemen, is that in our everyday life, in our everyday commutes and whatever we are doing, we are even marketing ourselves. I think even for a marketer, or whether you're a marketer or not, just as a simple human being, and to survive within the society, you really have to do it yourself, even if you are not thinking about it or you are, or whether you're doing it unconsciously. I think this is something which we need to talk about, and then we can move on to the social aspect as well. That how are we as a nation, as individuals, as communities, marketing ourselves? Because in the Western market, Pakistan is a known place to everybody else. And you know, the soft image is getting better and better day by day. But how do you think we need to market ourselves when we see our friends, cousins, family members, or probably our CEO or bosses or our subordinates? We're going for a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Good morning.
The largest cultural activity in Pakistan is the annual National Folk Festival, Lok Mela, held in Islamabad in October each year. Over the past 2 decades, this festival has taken on an international flavour, and more than 20 different countries have sent their artisans and performers to participate in the festival. Nationally, the festival has become a thing of pride for artisans and performers who come on their own to participate. Most important of all, the provinces of Pakistan and Azad Jammu and Kashmir put up beautifully decorated pavilions, and visitors had the unique opportunity to see an assortment of Pakistan's traditionally rich culture in the federal capital of Islamabad for an exciting 10 days. An exhibition of artisans at work under the
Welcome back, everyone. And before the break, we were discussing the importance of marketing. And, you know, it is one of those subjects that has got a lot of slack because a lot of people like to discredit the actual importance of it. Most businesses do not survive without marketing. We also know that within our organizations, you know, that marketing is very important. And yeah, it's in our day-to-day life. So you can't deny the psychological aspect, you can't deny the science, and you cannot deny the impact that it has. And we've got some wonderful guests in the studio to discuss this. So Farrukh, you mentioned before that social media changed the whole face of marketing. And that's something we said in our introduction as well, that with social media, everything has changed. Now, I'll start with Dr. Zeenat and then move on. In what way now, because like Farrukh mentioned before, social media has made marketing a lot more difficult. There's a lot, and easier at the same time. There are more tools, but the target audience is different. Their behavior is different online than it would be in person. So what has social media done to marketing in the 21st century?
I think social media has really changed the concept of viral marketing.
Okay. Or viral marketing.
Yeah, or word of mouth communication as it was mentioned 20, 25 years ago.
Okay.
Why I say this? Because it's so easy to use and everyone can use.
Right.
You know, so it's not about educated or uneducated, everyone. So if you open a group on Facebook or a page, you can see who has visited you, how many hits you have taken, your posts. There is an analytics section and it's so easy to use, you know. So
and it even tells you the age of the people who were visiting in the area where they were visiting from.
Yeah. But the thing is, you have all of this information for it, but people are not everyone's aware of how to utilize it. So how can having all this information at your disposal be helpful? Whereas you have this information, but their behaviors are still different because online behavior is different to in-person behavior.
I think in local industry in Pakistan, the marketeers still need to develop. And they need to get trained on these latest tools and techniques which they can deploy at their strategic plans. So to me, manager's development is also very important.
Okay.
And it,
So what like, this is the thing what I want to know, because we've had so many people, and even Shahzad is way better at using social media to market himself than I am. But like, how do you utilize these things? So some people have a knack, some people don't. Like, I mean...
you need to understand what product or services that you are selling. I mean, if you are selling, like myself, I'm a marketing coach as well. So it's a service sector. So you need to develop a strategic plan according to the product and the services that you are selling, and then deploy the techniques.
So what are the techniques? Let's share those techniques. Let's open up the Pandora box.
Coming back to the social media gives you a lot of options. I mean, to reach the wider variety of the people and to sell and market yourself. So the basic technique here is to keep it simple for your product, for your consumers and customers to understand. And even a simple thing repeatedly done creates a lot of value.
And marketing, ladies and gentlemen, over here has to do quite a lot with creativity as well. I'm not going to name the brand, but they did a great job. It's a mosquito repellent brand, and they came out with a billboard, and the billboard actually is a mosquito repellent itself.
That's amazing.
See, that's what we were talking about.
Now, how do you think... Just before we move on, Vahid was going to add something.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, undoubtedly, digital marketing has tremendous impact on societies as well. There are 3 E's which are easily approachable and visualizable due to this digital age. Economy, efficiency and effectiveness, all 3 areas has been improved. And as Mr. Shahzad mentioned, we can use Facebook, we can use Google Ad, and we can use as well, if we are the professionals, we can use different platforms through which we can express ourselves, and we can put our values to society as well.
Okay.
And I think so these all mediums are very cheap and very economical as well. But the thing is that this is not just an art, this is science now. Marketing is a science, perfect science. That's why we have to utilize all scientific tools very effectively so that we can get the true results.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd like to add to his point that most of the CEOs, like Shahzad said, that whenever you go to them asking for a marketing budget, and they straight away say no. But it's otherwise. In reality, marketing brings money to the company or your organization. So this is very important, that the right kind of marketing or a good marketing should be deployed.
And the CEO needs to understand as well. If the CEO understands, only then you're going to get the right market as well as...
Wait, but how can you become a CEO without realizing the importance of marketing?
Look, there are people, for example, for all those people who are early startups, I mean, who are over here, for example, for all those people who are opening these non-shops everywhere with Nutella in it or whatnot in it. I mean, they have a simple rule for marketing, and that is that people want to hang around. Probably in the evening time, they want to have a cup of tea. They want a place to sit somewhere. They cannot rent an apartment together as friends.
But marketing is so powerful that it is now changing the corporate identity. You can visualize in your town, your city, Mobling. Mobling was the corporate identity, corporate brand. But Jazz was the product brand. The branding is so powerful. Now the merged entity, which is Warad and Mobling, that's taking the name of Jazz. Now the Jazz is, the product brand is going to be corporate brand.
Exactly.
That's why marketing is so powerful.
Over here, we do know the importance of marketing because brand equity itself is a thing, right? That's why they're not merging it, just because you brought it up, because they've invested millions of rupees.
You know, for all professional purposes, we are not living in, cave ages or dark ages. We have brand health trackers in place in Pakistan, and every week they just, because they are outsourced, not every company has that kind of capability. So we have brand trackers, health trackers, companies which provide information.
Amazing.
So but we have people's meter. I mean, that's how we get ratings, right?
Okay, now the thing is, so we talked about, how important it is, lack of awareness. Now let's talk about the positive side, because now I feel like we've created an image that no one in Pakistan knows what brand
And I need to get started with that. Now, since you guys are marketeers yourself, you're a marketing coach, you have your own organization, you teach students as well. So we're not going to lie to people today. How many jobs have you created by being within the field of marketing and for other young marketeers, one by one? And do you think that it is a very lucrative field for people to probably jump in days to come?
Okay. How many jobs have I created? For me, the students are my products. I have to do work on them to be sellable. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, I can safely say when I go to bed, I've not come up with crappy stuff, you know. So to teach either or, so yes. So I've been in the business of teaching for the past, what? Since I've been there since,
Okay.
16
I mean,
plus
look,
years.
listen, at the end of the day, it is not your responsibility to
Yeah,
get your
yeah,
students jobs. Your responsibility is to teach them, is about them to implement what
Yes,
you taught them
absolutely.
practically. Now, let's talk about the positive. Like you said, there are companies out here who are telling you what the trends are, what the brands are, which are the emerging brands. So, you know, we are not in the dark ages here. We're very much for. So tell us, you know, in regards to job opportunities within, like, just building up on Shazad's point, regarding to job opportunities, what is out there for students these days that they can look into for their future?
Well, you'll find marketing jobs in every business. Let me just point out from
So let's be specific about these.
from
you have
oil
to
and
sell
gas
them-
from
sell
oil and
yourself.
gas sector.
Oil and gas, okay.
Yeah, where you're managing accounts or doing a JV, joint venture deals or whatever, to banking. You know, these customer relationship managers.
Which are usually women, though, these days.
No, they're boys also.
Okay, now the thing is, the thing is, it's great. You've highlighted the oil and gas sector.
Yeah.
You've talked about account management, etc. But what are the let's talk about the specific jobs, because we have a lot of students that watch us. So what are the specific jobs with marketing should students be looking at if this is an area they want to get into?
Okay, from would you like to?
Yeah, I like to start here. I met Dr. Khalid. Dr. Khalid is the first Pakistan's John Maxwell.
Yeah, he was
Yeah, he
here on the
was
show.
here
Don't
on
worry.
the show, Dr. Khalid, thumbs up.
He's the first Pakistan's John Maxwell certified trainer and coaching for leadership and marketing. So this is something new, which is
Okay.
in Pakistan. So what we, after meeting with him, we decided to promote this industry, how need to coach people on marketing and train them on the latest techniques and tools that they can use to develop their businesses.
Okay, that's great. But the thing is, what kind of jobs can students go into, though? I
And
want to
what
talk
are
about
those
specific
techniques? I mean,
careers. Yeah, we'll talk about the techniques
That's
at the
it,
end.
yeah.
But I want to talk about the specific careers first, because I want to give information out there.
Yeah, for students, especially coming back to Shazad's points, that there are a lot of small and medium scale businesses who cannot afford highly paid marketing managers in their companies. So there are a lot of companies which student can join as a coach, as a mentor, or as a trainer.
Okay.
So in those companies, the smaller businesses, they can outsource these marketing facilities from them.
And I think so this is one of the most powerful profession of the future.
Okay.
As you mentioned, if the students are clear and they have clear their personal and professional development plan, PDP plans.
But that's what I'm telling you. A lot of students are not clear.
Yes.
A lot of people do not know. I want you to make it clearer for them.
Yes, ma'am. I think so. The most powerful tool is that PDP plan, personal and professional development plan.
Okay.
If they can sell themselves,
Yes.
they can sell everything.
Okay, but eventually,
Okay,
Yes.
now,
oh, there's one
answer my
problem over
question.
here.
Yes.
Could I just add?
Yes,
to it?
please.
Yeah.
Okay. The titles would look like
Yes, that's exactly what I want to know.
customer relationship,
Okay.
business development,
Okay.
key account handlers, right?
Perfect.
So these are the general,
Perfect.
kind of a generic.
Okay,
titles.
And this is what we are
Because some
trying to
people
get out as
yeah.
well. I mean, that's what Maha was struggling for. But don't you realize after some time, for example, if a marketeer wasn't really good in the market, or while he was in the field, there comes a time in his life when he thinks that if I would have opted for being a doctor or an engineer back then, when I opted to be a marketeer, would have made my life much more easier. How do you think we can get rid of this thought process as well? Because there is a time in every marketeer's life, because a product has a life cycle. The product's going to go away, people are not going to use it until unless there's more research and development taking place. So for all those people who are probably key relationship, for example, for all those people who died, you were in relationships with, or you were handling them, you need to develop a few more.
Yes.
So there comes a time when you realize marketing really didn't do well for me in life.
I think
How
so,
do you
Shazad,
think people can reinvent?
Every professional, whether he's doctor, whether he's lawyer, he's not successful until and unless he's a good marketeer.
All right.
How he can
Whether
market
he's
his
good
talent,
at marketing
his
or
potential.
good at making money. Now, these are two different things.
I think
I don't want to
so,
lie to my people.
I think so seed would be the marketer.
All right.
Money would be the outcome, result of that one.
All right.
Right. Marketing is the result generating process and result generating, you may say, art. And for every professional, he has to be a good marketer.
All right.
Okay.
If he is a lawyer, even he is the teacher, he is the selling something. And only if he is having art as well as scientific knowledge of this, you may say, process and this subject, then he would be more successful.
Okay, amazing. Now I have to move on to you. Since you're a coach yourself, now there are 2-3 different types of personalities within a marketeer as well. Now there are marketeers which are very hard on people that, you know, okay, if you're not going to take my stuff, dude, I'm going to punch you in the face. Then there are other people who try to convince you overnight, you know, sir, it's going to be very beneficial for you. And you could sense that, you know, it's just 15% or 20% of his commission, you know, which he wants to get out, and that's why he's selling with their product. But then there's this third type who are very successful, and they never let anybody else know what they're thinking about their poker faces. And that's the deal where they get to know. Which one would you opt for that, you know, this personality trait would actually make you more successful as a marketeer?
I think, again, it comes back to the product and the services that they are, something called ethical marketing. It also includes the education of the product or the services. You need to tell to the people, like if you want to buy a brand of a pen, so there are a lot of pens available in the market. So what will happen is the better marketeer who has done his research well, and the plan is very simple, and he educate his consumer well. So that is the point where he can.
Okay, so you would say educating and having the information rather than aggressive.
Right.
I want to get opinion from ma'am as well.
Okay, well, for me, it's very simple, you know. Marketing, earlier marketing, I still remember push and pull strategy. These are two. Push is when you push your ideas onto the consumers, and pull is when you get the ideas and come up with something. I still would think pull strategy is the best for the longer run, because see what a marketer is looking for. He's looking from his target audience, brand loyalty, and brand association, and it's an ultimate love affair, which has to last. You know, 100+ years with Coke and with the, you know, the cola beverages, and still the
You're
target
right.
market
and
is.
I'm completely, absolutely been. That marketing has worked on me like magic. Like I'm the biggest, like, loyal customers to them.
Exactly, and that's how you place your product.
And even
as
though
well.
it's had detrimental health effects on me, I still am very much committed to them.
Same
And,
here,
you know,
I totally agree.
And since we're discussing that, there's one more thing which I want to know, and that is that, you know, in our universities, I think we need to change the syllabi as well. I mean, we've been studying Philip Kotler for ages as well. I mean, I don't know how many. I mean, the authors are the same. Don't you think that the trends are changing with the changing authors as well? So how do you think that the universities really need to pace up? Because I still remember that when we were in our university and we used to get these case studies from the Ivy League universities as well, I think the trends need to change. What do you think as a teacher, as a professor yourself, that this is what we need to induct within the syllabi of marketing?
I totally agree with you. What is lacking is perhaps we are going indigenous, right? In a classroom, you can give examples from the local market, and you should. Every good marketer should give that, because we are not all of us would land up in the, you know, across the 7 seas. Somebody has to look after the business of marketing here in Pakistan. So I personally think the universities should encourage and motivate people to write books. That's one academic lapse that our universities have never looked into.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, I'd like to add a point here. You need to bridge the gap between the industry, with the demand in the industry, and what is being taught.
Okay,
All right. So there
perfect.
need to be a collaboration between the universities, so of course involves students and teachers, and the industry experts. So industry experts, they give you the advice. I mean, this is
a wonderful point. We have been talking about it very lately
Yeah,
as well.
I feel like there should be some sort of partnership
And
with
second, I shall add in it that marketing is just not subject. Marketing is lifestyle, and marketing is a full phenomena which should be adopted by personality. There should be attitude change. If a person want to come in this field, in marketing field, he should develop his attitude. How he can convey, as Shahzad was mentioning, communication is very important. If he is a strong communicator and he can perceive the benefits which product can add in customer needs, then he would be the successful marketer.
Okay, now one last thing, you know, before we move on to any other thing, because we do have a fruit of the day, ladies and gentlemen, and it's for all those people who are out there. I'm going to ask this question. All of you have to answer this one by one, and however way you want
school.
to. Okay, so marketing is a tool. We know that.
Yeah.
but people think that it is a tool to fool you. Is it correct or is it not?
No.
No?
Because see, lie cannot stretch itself. It would be caught. And companies and brands have gone into, oblivion because of that. So no.
So it can't be a lie.
I will say there's always a demand or a need or a want, which is always there in the society. So the marketeer, a good marketeer, he picks that demand and needs and develop a product and service around it. So it satisfies the customer and it brings money to the organization.
Okay, so
And that's, I think so, marketing is just not selling. If we consider that marketing is selling, then you're right, that would be the main course of action that we should be selling at any cost. Marketing is basically relationship management. That's why it is long-term relationship management. Long-term relationship only possible if we are considering win-win.
If you're not lying to anybody.
Yes, yes.
exactly.
That's what it is.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Great. Thank you so much for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you and
Pleasure's all
discuss
ours.
marketing. And I really hope that the audience took something from that. It's a really heavy subject, with, like we've mentioned, and we've, it's a proven science. There's a science to it. There's psychology to it. There's maths to it. So you cannot deny the benefits.
And the best part, ladies and gentlemen,
I'm surprised CEOs don't realize the importance of it.
the best part is that, ladies and gentlemen, the way we are moving on or moving ahead, or the way evolution is taking place, there are new companies which are originating as well, and the service industry is grooming. I think service industry is at a boom right now at this point of time. So there's no end to marketing.
Absolutely.
I mean, till the world's going to last, alhamdulillah, I don't think that there's going to be an end to marketing. There's always going to be more space. All you have to do is make sure you have got a unique selling point.
As long as human beings are alive, they will always need or want something. And as long as you need or want something, there will always be marketing.
And right now what we need is we need to probably talk about the fruit of the day. And today we have
Wait, I'm
picked
gonna
up,
say it.
all right, on.
Guava.
And in Urdu we call it amrood.
I was going to say that.
All right.
He steals everything from
say
me,
it again
guys.
then. All right, so what are the health benefits of it?
Okay,
Maha,
why
go
don't you-
ahead.
well, should I
It's
start it?
rich in fiber, vitamin A, B, C, and content folic and nicotinic acid. I don't know what
Nicotinic
that
acid,
is.
yes. It helps to prevent prostate cancer and is very good for preventing high blood pressure.
And then it's a remedy for prolonged, asthma and...
You can say that word.
Yeah, it's all right. You know, for all those
Okay, so
people who are suffering through asthma, you can probably, it's good for your health.
Okay. So cough, and it's also good for cough and colds, and it acts as a respiratory tract disinfectant.
Yeah, it's relief. It's very relieving for all those people who are suffering through constipation, and it improves digestion system, helps losing weight.
Okay, and it also helps to battle diabetes by lowering the blood glucose levels, and it helps to avoid scurvy. So if anyone has that.
So that's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. So
And we're going to have a word now after the show. So with that, do log on to our Facebook fan page,
which is with the name of World This Morning.
our Twitter page,
World This Morning with RDG.
our Daily Motion and YouTube page.
World This Morning, World This Morning.
And the repeaters at
11 p.m.
Have a wonderful day. I hope you enjoyed the show. We will see you bright and early tomorrow.
And the only reason why we say it over and over again is because we know the importance of marketing. Look after yourselves. 1, 2, 3. Good morning. Thank you.
Why?
centered. Services work when the family is working. And in Chicago, we work on a vulnerability scale. So it's pretty much every man for himself with how they are as a person. So it works, but some issues or some situations it doesn't.
So you want it to be all for one or one for all. That's it.
Great. And unfortunately, we've run out of time. Thank you so much for being here. It's an absolute pleasure having you on the show. And I hope the rest of your visit is really enjoyable and good.
And please do go out for shopping. As well. We've got two amazing malls over here. You can probably go check them out.
You
as
look
well.
fabulous. It's
Thank
absolutely
you.
wonderful.
But ladies and gentlemen, this is
I
it.
should wash your
This is it for now. But right now we have to move on towards the dry fruit of the day.
Yes, quickly, because we're
And
very
we have picked up on pistachios.
Yes, pistachios. So, the
So
health
let's see what are the health benefits.
Okay, so they're good if you want a healthy heart. They're good if you're doing some weight management.
Then they're good for protection against diabetes and hypertension and improved digestion.
And it's got it's a really good source for vitamins, minerals, fats, and proteins.
And you know, all of this is what is found in pistachio are all very good for your health.
Exactly. So, and it also reduces the risk of heart attack and disease. So, with that, you log onto our Facebook fan page.
Yeah, let them come back because
Okay.
they're still taking a glance at the pistachios and
Pistachios.
how they are actually grown. So if, I think, thank you
Okay.
very much.
So, with that, log onto our Facebook fan page.
It is with the name of World This Morning.
Our Twitter page.
World This Morning, it's without a G, all right?
And the YouTube and Daily Motion
YouTube,
page.
it's World This Morning, and Daily Motion, it's World This Morning.
And the repeat is at.
11 p.m.
Have a wonderful day. We'll see you bright and early tomorrow.
Till the next time, 1, 2, 3,
Good
good
morning.
morning. Thank you.
Power project would generate 1320 megawatts, and it is one of the major projects in China-Pakistan Economic Corridor energy portfolio. The government of Pakistan has been very anxious that these projects should come into production by 2017-2018, and so that the country can get rid of the energy crisis that it is facing since last many years. I'm sure the way this company is working on the site, that the timelines of 2018 would not be very unreasonable to expect.
The Geological Survey of Pakistan reveals that 175 billion ton of coal is buried under the Thar Desert.
whether it's